Obligatory podcast intro.
Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. I'm Matt with my co-host Adam, and this show is where we take all 25 letters of the alphabet, we put them in a mailbox, we each draw a letter, and then pick a comic that begins with that letter. I don't know his, he does not know mine. Spoilers ahead for these two comics, and if you feel like it, stop by Instagram at Flipping Pages 24 or Facebook at Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. You got to write the whole thing. Yeah, stop by, say hi. Be cool.
Yes, sir.
And so we got I and L.
Yeah. So I took a little while to find mine this time. You know that.
I did too.
The audience doesn't know that. So I only had a few days to read this and get into it. It's called Isom. It's spelled
that's why that's written?
Isom is the name of the comic.
I thought you had like a weird acronym.
Right.
Something to help you remember.
A lot of people in this comic have weird names.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Isom.
Isom. That's the main character. This is from a company called Rippaverse. They're very new. They came out in 2022.
Oh, wow.
So
the company started in
2022, yeah.
That is pretty new.
Very new.
Must not have like a whole lot of titles, huh?
No, barely. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. So it was created by this guy. His last name was July.
Cool.
Doug July or something.
Cool.
I'll find it in a minute. And he's super into like the integrity of comics. Like he's like, oh, we don't want reboot or retcons all the time, and we don't want you selling out in like Pepsi issue or stuff like that. He seems like very like the sacred.
I'm a comic
keeping
purist.
Yes, yeah. But having said that, he seems like a cool dude, and his little universe that he started, the Rippaverse, is cool so far.
Okay.
And I like the art in it. Character designs, pretty normal. Not really anything that stands out crazy, but they look good.
Okay.
All the art's done well. This comic came out in 2023, and it was not their like launch title. I don't think it didn't seem like it.
Oh, okay.
Because of the date, and
It was
also
written by this Doug July guy?
No, it was not.
That's the owner of the company?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's the creator of the company.
Go
so the writer. Oh, it is him. I didn't think
shit.
it was.
Nice.
Yeah, Eric July. Eric July. The
That's cooler
artist
than
is
Doug.
Cliff Richards. Yeah. They got Erica Weathers as the letterer. And copy editor, Marcos Rios, concept artist. That's cool. The comic starts with 2 pages. Oh, is it 2 pages? 1 full page of his manifesto, basically.
Oh, okay.
This is what Rippaverse is about. This is why I'm doing it.
Oh, not part of the comic.
No,
just like
none
an introduction
of it. Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of their first things. They show people in this that you should already know. Is how the only reason I knew this was not the original launch title.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask how you knew.
There was a couple people. It does it twice actually. They just pop up. People pop up, and they're like, if you'd read the other comics, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. They're there.
That's that guy.
But not having read it, I was like, oh fuck.
They turn to you, the reader, and wink.
Am I supposed to know who these people are? Like I was actually confused at first. So
yeah, one I did that with the other comic he created. He threw him in. And was the X-ray robot. Remember he threw in Mad Men and was like,
yeah.
You know him, right? You know that guy.
All right. So the other cool part about this, I did see it whenever I was checking out comics. It's set in Texas.
Nice.
A made-up place called West Flores Park, but Flores Park is all one word.
I bet you they think it's fake, but it probably exists
It's somewhere. Yeah.
It's probably
it's just
a street
really small.
name or tiny
It's
town.
just real small. It's like Dallas, basically. It's supposed to be a big-ass, gnarly city.
Oh, okay.
But it's like butts up to stereotypical cowboy Texas, where it's just flat plains.
Mm-hmm.
Like immediately, as soon as you leave town, it's just nothingness.
Right.
So
Which there are some places like that.
it happens. It happens, but not with a giant city.
No,
usually.
not you don't leave Houston and it's like nothing.
Yeah, you slowly get less and less of things until
Yeah.
there's like
Well, you go south though towards Mexico. There's a lot of nothing out there.
there's nothing down there.
Yeah, so
whenever
you
me
can
and my
see a
dad
lot.
used to go,
It's a
it
lot of
was
nothing.
Nothing. It would get so bored.
Yeah.
Friggin' nothing.
Highway hypnosis like a mofo out there because it's just
Yeah, there's
hours of
nothing.
just
Hell yeah. I'm glad I wasn't driving at the time. My dad was driving. So it's called Flores Park, Floor Spark. I think it's Flores Park.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's like a stand-in for Dallas, basically. And this universe has, they call them excepts, like exceptional people.
Oh, okay.
Excepts, stupid abbreviation.
Yeah.
Abbreviation. It was confusing to me at first because excepts. They said it a few times, and like, thank God there was enough context for me to be like, oh. Okay, that's
It's just
what
another way of saying hero or superhero.
Yeah,
or...
somebody that's got actual like powers.
Okay.
Like, because there are people that don't have powers that kind of are superheroes too, but most of the people that
That's true.
do it are actual superpowered like people. So in this universe, it's not weird to have superpowered people. This seems like it's not a huge amount of people that are like that, but there's a guy that's just a bodyguard. And he's one, and he's just working basically almost a regular job as a bodyguard. So they got to be pretty plentiful if they're just doing bodyguard.
Yeah, you have
work.
the smaller scale dudes who do real work,
Yes.
and then you have the bigger guys, right?
The guy actually brings that exact guy brings up when he's talking to our hero when he's fighting him. He says, "There's people, they just call us excepts," and he goes on like a little diatribe. He goes, "But there's levels to this shit." Is literally what he says. He goes, "You're not me, or you can't compare to me. You're not." And he's like, "Dude, I never said I was."
Yeah,
like,
right.
what the hell? So I'll give you a quick backstory. What I know of Isom. He used to be a hero when he was a little bit younger. He's not even old now. I'd say he's like 38. Maybe
That's
something
old
like
in
that.
superhero years.
It is, I guess. Batman never goes past, what was it?
Yeah,
20,
like
30,
28 or
28 or
something.
something weird. So he used to do it for a while. He technically, this is where it gets kind of confusing. He keeps saying he's not an except, and he talks about how people like me shouldn't be able to do these things. But then on his breakdown, it says superhuman strength. I'm like, well, he just said he wasn't. He didn't. And they had to train for it.
He's a self-hating except.
I guess. Maybe he's just got the minor super strength, so he doesn't consider himself.
Yeah, I'm slightly stronger, maybe.
So the only reason he was able to be a superhero is because he's trained forever in fighting and everything you could need for like superhero stuff. He also had a cool suit that was, like bulletproof and whatnot,
Right.
but it just looked like a normal costume. It wasn't big.
Was Isom his superhero name, or is that his real name?
Isom is his superhero's name.
Okay, cool.
He goes. I'm trying to remember what his name was. His actual name. Oh, it doesn't matter. So he quits when he's younger. He was doing the superhero thing. He was not a big deal. People across the country weren't like, "Oh, it's Isom."
Yeah.
Sure, in his town or his neighborhood, people were like, "Oh, fuck yeah, grab my cat out the tree or whatever." And
Help me with these groceries.
yeah, I know you strong motherfucker.
I gotta move a sofa.
Yeah. So he did it for a while, and then he like retired basically, and he lives on a ranch outside of Flores Park. So it looks like West Texas instantly outside of
Yeah, right outside Dallas.
yeah, right.
West Texas.
It's West Texas.
Because it's real small here. People don't know that.
Everybody knows everybody.
It's super tiny.
Yeah. Little known fact.
Yeah.
So he gave up and he lives on this farm and he runs a farm. He's literally a farmer.
Okay. Chill life.
He does ranching and farming. So that's like animals and veggies and
Right.
whatnot.
Hard work, but chill.
Yeah, he's like the owner though, so he's mostly telling people what to do.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like it's a big enough ranch where he's got like a staff. Like there's more than one guy helping him.
Right on.
So he's just kind of chilling at his ranch or whatever, and his sister calls. Sister says, "Hey, you remember Jasmine, Miss Newman's daughter?" And he goes, "Yeah, I love Miss Newman. She was the best." Jasmine's missing, and Miss Newman wants us to find her. He goes, "What does that have to do with me?" And she's like, "Well, she said she got a job with Darren, the guy you used to go to school with. It was they went to the same high school together, and they're kind of rivals.
Oh, okay.
So Darren now runs the part of the underground. He's not like the mob boss, but he's got a little section of town. He's got a club that he runs, and they do drugs out of it. They do regular club stuff. They do girls out of it, like all the underground shady shit, basically.
Right.
And she found out. Isom's sister was like, "Yeah, she got a job working there at Darren's club. You knew Darren, so like y'all like you could just talk to him, right? Like, I'm not asking you to do no superhero stuff because it's
just walk in and talk.
Yeah.
Because y'all are friends.
Exactly.
Or old friends.
Exactly. So we get that, and then I was gonna skip this, but since I mentioned it, and then Yara pops up, who's obviously been was one of the earlier titles.
Oh, okay, this is one of them.
Yeah, she pops up and just starts like fighting a superhero team that's obviously popped up before, and they're like, "Oh, that's her," and then like kind of don't really even explain who she is, but they explain who the superhero team is. They're called Alpha Core. Yeah, one of the guys' name is Braxwell. The other guy's name is Brian Solar. And Ingrid Valdez. Yeah, they don't have good super names at all.
That's their superhero name?
That's what it's showing, yeah.
I thought those were real names.
Or I guess, my
superhero
Braxwell
name
probably is.
Braxwell.
Ingrid is sure. Maybe the Solar is.
Solar sounds like
the only one that not normal.
Braxwell.
Yeah. They look dumb. They look like green rip-offs of other superheroes. They look dumb.
Right. It's very hard to do that and make them original.
Oh, yeah.
You said
especially
Isom looked
now.
cool. Isom looked cool.
He does look cool. I like his outfit.
But these guys,
they look
not
dumb.
so good.
Yeah, they look dumb. Other people in it, which is cool. A lot of people, even one of the Excepts, which is, like I was saying, one of the super people or whatever.
Yeah.
They are just wearing regular clothes sometimes, and like so.
That's what I would do.
They're not always, suited up or whatever.
Yeah.
So Isom goes in there. He's talking to Darren. It's kind of cordial. Like there's nothing bad happening. They're not cursing each other.
Right.
So they're kind of talking, and he's like, "Man, that's none of your business." When he asks about Jasmine, he goes, "Who sent you here to ask whatever, Miss Newman or whatever?" So then they get into like an argument, and Darren's like, "You're out of here. Get out of here." He goes, "Nah, dog, you're being disrespectful." Isom does. He goes, "Nah, dog, you're being disrespectful. You're going to answer my question." And he's like, "Nah, man." So he sends like 30 bodyguards after him. No joke. And none of these people know he's super at all. Yeah. So
he's just making sure the job gets done with 30 dudes.
Exactly. So he just starts running through these guys. He's not... so one of the punches, he punches him so hard it shows him breaking ribs and stuff.
Okay,
and
so they're not flying across the room.
One guy does whenever he like Superman punches him, the step back. So when he's trying, he can knock a big guy across the room.
All right, that's pretty strong.
So he's supposed to be like low-level superhuman strength is what the website said. So like more than Captain America, but not a lot. And also, he's only slightly more durable than a regular guy. That's why he would have to wear the armored suit. It's not armored, but it doesn't look armored.
Right.
So he goes through. He's beating the crap out of all these bodyguards, and then the Except bodyguard pops up. He's like they call him the elite. You just waiting for the elite, and he goes, "I'm an Except" or whatever. It's dumb. He's a giant man. He's like a foot and a half taller than everybody else, and Isom's supposed to be pretty tall.
Yeah.
So he's like freakishly big, basically. He's super jacked. He looks like was it Ronnie Coleman, the bodybuilder from like the 80s. He was just his like triangle body and like his shoulders, like it looked fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they found new muscles we didn't know we had.
Yeah,
on
they
that
discovered
guy.
them. Yeah, exactly.
I think they're called giblets or something like that.
So they get him, Isom and the Except bodyguard get into a fight, and Isom holds his own. He's not destroying this guy, but he's doing fine. And then they fight some more, and the Except gets the best of him, and he literally throws him out. So he takes him to the door and throws him in the air super high. And as he's flying through the air, he runs into the Yara chick in the air. They run into each other in the air, and so they turn around. He's like, Isom's like, "Oh, another Except for me to beat up. Like, why'd he send you? Whatever." And she's like, "Oh, you're one of those super cops." So they start fighting on a misunderstanding.
Right.
Which we talked about.
Yeah, totally standard with superheroes.
Exactly. Well, she's supposed to be a super villain-ish. The super police are after her. So she's fighting. The reason she was in the air flying is because she's fighting those super police from earlier I talked about.
Right.
The green ones with Braxwell and Solar and whatever. Ingrid. So they do a little tussle, and she can fly. Isom definitely can't fly. She takes him up. thrown. He was getting thrown by the other strong guy. So she takes him up high, like above the buildings, and then throws him down.
Oh, damn.
So like he's like, I've trained myself to do things that a normal man can't do, but there's still gravity. So like he does all these flips and shit, but he lands on top of a car, and like it looks bad. It looked bad. It's not messed up really that bad, but a fall, he like smushes the car basically.
Right.
So that superhero team was like trying to find Yara, so they find him and they take him to the hospital because he's just wearing regular clothes. He's a victim as far as they saw.
Yeah, they don't know.
So the doctors in the hospital are like, who's this guy in the other room? Like he fell out of a plane or something. He's not dead. And they go into his room to check on him. He's gone already. He jumped out the window. So now he's pissed. Isom, on the website, it talks about how he's hot-headed and has a bad temper. Mm-hmm. And so he gets real pissed. So he immediately puts out like a distress call basically to his sister and the guy that works for him at the ranch. But his sister lives closer in town, so she shows up, picks him up, and he's like, take me back. Or take me to my truck. And she was like, you're wearing what's going on? And he goes, I got something to take care of. So she takes him back to the truck. He goes and changes, puts on more clothes, takes his truck back to a bar, the club.
Like, where's he going?
Yeah, okay. He went right back to the club, but he didn't run in right away. He sat outside, and he's like just chilling, watching for Jasmine. He's really trying to...
Okay. Smart. I thought he was just going to walk. Round 2, motherfucker.
It's about to.
Oh, shit.
So here's the second part with just randos popping up. This one was the actual... Because they don't even give us their names. The guys just got glowing eyes, and they're talking about taking over the club, and they're using weird light powers and stuff. They don't explain who they are at all in this.
Is it's only the paperbacks? Or a paperback?
No, it was. I don't know, man.
Like they might pop up later in future.
Oh no, they had. These people.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they. In his story, yeah, because they're talking about taking over Darren's club,
right.
So they probably come up back into that.
Okay.
I didn't. I definitely didn't. I guess I technically did read all of what's out, but I'm not. I don't really want to go that far.
Right. Okay, so it's possible that they could come out.
They definitely have their own comic.
Oh,
that's what I meant. I didn't say that. They're definitely either a main character or a
you
backup.
did say the second time.
Yeah.
This is the second time they did. So they're the other ones.
They're the other ones. Yeah,
they sound cool. I like light powers.
It was cool. The guy's got green glowy eyes, and the lady's got like a glowy orb that she's like chilling like right here. It looks cool. It does look cool.
Like those little balls from the 90s.
Anti-gravity balls or whatever they call them. Yeah, dude. It looks exactly like she's just chilling with it.
Playing with
it.
Yeah. I can do tricks.
It looks like it's weightless.
It's floating. Well, I guess she could probably make it.
It is.
Float.
It is actually floating.
Nice.
Yeah. So Isom puts on a hoodie, and that's his disguise, and he goes around to the back of the club, and he's like kind of just dicking around, like waiting to get closer, see if he can find Jasmine.
Right.
And she literally pops out and walks right past him. He's like, holy shit, Jasmine, this went way better than I thought it was going to.
Shit, that worked?
He literally says that. He goes, I can't believe I honestly didn't expect to run into you so easily. That's what he says. That's his exact quote. So he's like, your mom's worried about you. What's going on? She's like, oh, no, I'm fine, whatever. But the bouncers see him talking to her, and they don't even know it's him yet, but they see a dude bothering one of their girls. So they go over, they get real rough with him immediately. Like, hey, bud, get out of here. And he's like pissed. He's like, why is your first instinct to grab someone so violently? He goes, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but now you gave me an excuse. And he goes like, what? And then he starts beating the shit out of these dudes. Like bad. He grabs him by the throat and he slams him straight. Like his feet were up in the air. He like pile drived him, but just with his wrist. With his,
that's pretty raw.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't think Captain America could do that necessarily. Maybe
that's like the would-be peak. Probably that's like Super Saiyan Cap. Somebody made fun of Bucky, so he got really mad.
Yeah.
So he beats up the first two guards outside of the club.
Nice.
And he starts like Like, I don't know what you Conor McGregor walking. That's the only way I can.
Just that smug
Yeah,
walk,
like
just
the big elbows.
so
you can
smug.
see it in the still pictures. It conveys
nice.
it very
So,
well.
like the Tupac walk.
Whenever we're done, I'll show you. He's like literally doing it.
If
And-
y'all, I wish y'all could see us because we're both trying to mime this
Perfect.
walk. We're both just elbows up trying to smug walk here. All right,
if
sorry.
I can figure it out, I'll put a clip of Conor McGregor in the YouTube
There you go.
video.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where he does the Superman punch and just launches a guy. One of the guy goes, "Hey, it's that dude from earlier," which I thought was awesome because that's how it would really be.
No, it would be. Yeah.
And he
That's
goes,
funny.
"Hey, it's that. What the hell are you doing here?" He goes, "Rah!" And if you know what a Superman punch is, he literally does that, and he just flies like you would see like a real superhero,
Right,
dude. Like
okay.
just launches him. Like he's like after the punch, he's like his feet are barely in frame anymore.
Nice.
It's really
Okay,
cool.
That's cool.
It's really good. And he picks up the last guy that he hasn't basically murdered yet. The last security guard. And he's like, "Hey, call Darren. Tell Darren I need to talk to him or whatever." He's like,
"Bro?"
Yeah, this dude's the guy's like, he says something smart. He goes, "We have an issue out back," and he's like, "Then everything that's about to happen to you." It's so dumb. So he busts in. He breaks the door. Isom breaks the door down. The back doors to the club, so like heavy duty metal doors.
Right.
Knocks it over. He comes into like kind of the back, more seedy part of the club, probably. Seems like it. I don't know. Whatever. The gnarly club.
Right.
And he goes, "Hey, ladies, you need to get out of here because it's gonna get real rough." And he's like, "I might not." He was like, "I might not be able to not hurt you or something
Right.
like that." He's
Y'all
like,
might be in the way.
yeah, exactly. And so, like, even not the security guards, just dudes that are there start fighting him.
Of
like,
course,
so,
yeah.
like I said, Darren's literally got like 30 or more security guards, and then there's like 30 dudes that are just dudes there, and
Yo,
they start
talking to
fighting.
her.
Yeah, so they all start fighting, and he just whoops all the regular dudes, and then
Of course.
just the Except comes out, the same one that he
bodyguard.
fought
Yeah.
earlier. None of the regular bodyguards come out; they just send the Except out immediately. I think he's supposed to have gold teeth or really yellow teeth, but if they're gold, it looks dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. And he's got MMA gloves on, like the little tiny soft MMA gloves.
Right. The fingerless.
Fingerless with a
Or
tiny bit of padding. So this time,
tipless.
yeah,
Fingertipless?
Yeah, basically.
a
So
band-
this
band name.
time, he didn't get beat up by all the people first. And you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Took some damage or something.
yeah, so this time he's like plays it smart and like uses like leverage and his speed against this guy.
Okay. Cool.
And he's still kind of getting whooped a little bit, to be honest.
This dude's just outclassed.
Yeah,
him,
basically. He doesn't have his cool suit on right now. He's wearing regular clothes, which does make a difference.
Okay.
So how he finally does it, how he takes out the Except, he jumps on the wall and he pulls like Spider-Man 2099 where he like shoves his fingers and toes into the wall to kind of hold on to the wall for a second. Like, yeah. And then he turns around like in the same move and then uses the wall to jump off of. And he like shoulder checks the Except guy
Yeah.
through the next wall, through the
Nice.
next concrete wall. And that finally knocks him out. So he wins.
Okay.
He wins that fight
Wins
finally.
round 2. Nice.
So they're on the other side of the wall, which is like the main street now. And the cops are like, "Who's this guy?" And they're like, "He just beat up that guy. We need to arrest him." And he's like, "Ah, fuck." So like Isom's like not wearing a costume or whatever. So they have no idea that he's a good guy. So they start shooting at him, trying to chase
Jesus.
him.
Of course they do.
So he calls his sister who lives like in town, like I was saying earlier, and he goes over there to like rest and recover for
Right.
a little bit. You meet his niece, his sister's daughter. Her name's Vassie. I know I said earlier some of the people had weird names. That's one of them. Vassie with a V. Vassie.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still it makes sense, but it's still
It's not the
a name.
worst.
It's not a
It's
name.
definitely not the worst, but
Ooh, what if it's like some other culture's name and we're just like, that's stupid. I'm just playing.
So he's just kind of talking to his sister about what happened with Jasmine, like
Okay.
what happened before she went to work, went to go work with him or whatever. And she used to have a really nice job, like a above the board legal, like badass job. She had a really good one. and she worked at the same company. Jesus, the same company that Isom's sister works at. It's
Okay, that's how they know each other.
It's a huge drug company. I'm pretty a drug company / genomic engineer. It's science crap.
Okay.
Comic book science crap too.
Yeah.
So they're just talking about how, oh, look, we have this video of Jasmine, like, right before she left, of, like, getting a call and acting all weird. So, like, it's like a murder mystery, but with no murder.
Okay.
They're trying to figure out what's going on with Jasmine, why she's there.
Mystery.
It's just a regular mystery. So I'll say it, because I'm just doing this one trade paperback. Isom goes to the tailor, which is the tailor for all the superheroes.
Okay,
it seems
cool.
like superheroes
Like the
and
Daredevil
bad guys.
guy.
I feel like he's both, like for superheroes and bad guys.
That's cool.
In the part I read, it doesn't say, but he used to just be like one or two. It was him, and he had like one like sidekick that helped him sew and whatnot. Well, Isom goes to visit him now. Now he's got a corporation.
Oh.
It's not just bigger. It is literally like a Fortune 500 corporation.
Damn.
now.
Okay.
He is the
suit guy.
Suit guy. He does everybody's
He is
suit.
Edna.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I didn't know if that reference would work for everybody or not.
I'm not even going to say what it's from.
No, that's enough. So he walks in, and they have a long discussion. That's why I actually mentioned it. They talk about, hey, why'd you quit? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
This and that. Why are you back now? Blah, blah, blah. And then he's about to give him the suit back, and he's like, I can't give you your old suit. And he's like, bro, what the hell? He goes, that thing's out of style. It doesn't have all my upgrades to it. I made you this suit. I think it looks basically exactly the same as his old suit, but it's got more upgrades or
Right,
whatever.
cool,
So it's
cool.
kind of like a Batman suit in that, where his utility belt is important. It has stuff on it.
Yeah.
The all of it's like bulletproof and
Cool.
shock resistant was one of the main things that he wanted, so he can fall from heights and not get hurt.
Oh, right.
And so his outfit's like gray and red and a little bit of white trim here. Yeah, come look at it. It's real simple, but I like it. Because how are you going to make something completely original? You can't. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't mind.
It's not, it looks like it has more structure than a spandex suit in the top.
Yeah.
And then his legs look like his thighs and stuff look like straight up spandex. And then the bottom looks more armored or whatever.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's
I don't
cool.
mind it at all.
It looks kind of like the Viking hammer. If you've ever seen a pendant, somebody wear a Viking hammer pendant, that's what it looks like on his
red?
chest. Yeah, the red part of it. That's
Nice.
exactly what it looks like. So now he's got the suit, and then so they do it 3 times. So there's another part where they're pushing one of their other titles.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what the title's called first. It was called, I didn't. I'm glad I read it. Norfolka. Norfolka, Norfrica. So like North Africa,
Okay.
but with no A.
Norfolka.
Really weird, but it's just these like metal dudes are like playing a metal show, and like a bunch of people are like, "Wow, we love them! They're so awesome!"
We are Norfolka.
Yeah, basically, and they're like, "Oh, we're the best," and then they go off stage, and they go off stage, and they're instantly like, we're tracking the power signatures. What are we to do? And they're like actual like gods of some sort, because they're like banned. They're supposed to be like gods or whatever.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like not gods, like angel, some sort of deity.
Something.
Yeah. And so like I don't know if the whole band or just these two. No, just the 2 giant guys, the 2 leads of the band, the lead singer and the guitarist.
Of course.
Are
It's always them.
are like super powered mother truckers.
What's wrong with the bassist and the drummer?
And then you get here. Look at this cool like splash page they do that's try to make you like want to check it out. So the one guy that looks like a Viking's got like a weird bow, and then the other guy's got dreadlocks and he's got a green orb of power, and he can fly.
This looked like Craven's first day.
Oh yeah, it's redheaded Step Craven.
Yeah. Nice.
And there's their band, Norfolka. Norfolka.
It's pretty cool.
So,
It's a good band name.
right.
Norfolka.
So I'm almost going to finish there. That would end the first trade paperback.
Okay.
So it was a weird amount of issues. It was only a few. It was 3 or 4 issues. They call it a trade paperback, whatever. I'm not going to argue.
Into one.
I'm not going to argue about it.
Right.
So we get to see what's actually happening with Jasmine more, and then we get to see an actual super villain and Isom fighting an actual super villain in the next one.
Nice.
So I'm going to leave off with that, a little teaser. Like I said, it came out in 2023. The company only started in 2022. The little bit I've read of it is awesome. Their mission statement that he talks about is cool, a little pretentious, but cool. And I genuinely recommend people check out Isom.
I might have to check out some of these new comics.
I pulled it up. They've got a bunch of other, bunch of other titles.
So Norfolka was definitely one.
Yeah, Norfolka. So Norfolka, there's one called Horseman. Yeah, I know. Alpha Core,
yeah.
Blood. What does that say? Blood Ruth. Oh my God, that one's bad. But she comes up. She pops up in the Isom comic.
Like Babe Ruth.
And then Gooding pops up later in the Isom comic. These are all separate titles.
Yeah.
And then, only the other two are the Horseman and Yara.
Oh, well, fuck, man. Where's my Braxwell comic?
They have a zine, though. They have a Rippa zine, dude. That's cool.
Oh, I bet you that's where it started, huh? You think?
I think it's to advertise their new company.
Oh, well, it's Rippa, so it would have started definitely after.
Yeah.
Just let me know when a Braxwell comic comes out.
Right. So their only comics are Alpha Core, Blood Ruth, Gooding, Isom, and Horseman and Yira.
From his statement and intro, it sounds like he's definitely building to...
He wants it to be massive.
But constantly crossing over. To where
beginning, they always do that at the beginning of comics.
But it seems like he wants that to happen later
universe.
to where
it's a shared universe.
When Yara pops up, you're like, that's Yara.
I should have known who Yara was, apparently.
Right. Or, that's Isom. I read his comic. That's what he sounds like. Which is cool, especially if you're trying to build strictly to that. Mm-hmm. That's dope. Like, we saw it with the first 22 movies of the MCU. Yeah. We knew... Since Thor 1, that's what they were building to.
Going for, yeah.
So I was like, I like that. That's very cool.
So I was naming all the other titles they have, and one of them's Gooding, and that he's a character that pops up in the second trade paperback of Isom. Mm-hmm. But he lives, they live in the same town actually, like outside of town. Yeah, he's in the local area. He's a rent-a superhero, just like. You pay him $59.99 a month, and you get him as like insurance. He'll show up to fight fires. He'll do investigations for you, and he says light assassin work, meaning he'll take out assassins and stuff like that. So he's like the bottom of the barrel superhero, basically. He's got like commercials and shit.
That's awesome.
And as far as I can tell, he's just like. I think he might have like some technopathy or something. He has some real good skill with technology. I know that. But I don't think he has like super strength or nothing. So he's like a mix between Batman and like Iron Man, basically.
Right.
Except the bottom tier.
Yeah, without the fighting.
Yeah. So like he has like a $59.99 level and then he's got higher levels.
How's no one ever done that? Like, how have we never seen that in a comic?
Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, but that's not the same. This is a monthly subsubscription.
Yeah.
It's more like Netflix where I can use it whenever I want.
There is. They had to.
Heroes for Hire, Luke Cage, and Power. What's his Iron Fist? We're like it's Power Man. Sorry, and Iron Fist.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "Hey, we have a job. Go do it." Mm-hmm. This is like, "Yo, got another fire."
Yeah.
So like, if you're a crackhead or a smoker. And you're always burning your shit down. He's just always around.
Perfect for that. Yeah. He shows up.
If your car breaks down, if you could call him.
He's like that. He's that low, dude. Like
okay.
He shows up for a fire.
Might actually be an interesting book.
That's what I'm saying. Like now that I see that it's on here, I'm like, oh, okay.
That's very interesting.
Oh, they call him the polymath. So yeah, he's super smart.
Okay.
Yeah. He's super smart. The Blood Ruth chick is kind of like Brother Voodoo.
Okay.
That's pretty much what she does. And then Alpha Core is the superhero team or whatever. That I think they're cops. They're actual cops.
Are they the super cops?
Yeah,
she was talking about.
Yeah. Those
Alpha
Alpha
Core?
Core is the super cops.
I thought it was a Canadian superhero team.
You would think
Yeah, they're always Alpha's always Canadian
every time.
for some reason.
All right, so I'm gonna do quick how's the faces.
Yeah, how were
Normal,
the faces?
look like a normal freaking comic.
It did not stand out as
It looked-
particularly good or bad.
It
to
looks
me.
like Marvel,
Yeah,
older Marvel.
older. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did notice a little tint or kind of oldness to
Yeah,
this.
yeah. When I had no idea what year it came out when I read it.
2022,
Yeah,
right.
I definitely didn't know. Faces were cool. Overall, cool comic.
Nice. All right, that was our segment. How were the faces? So I got L. Lamentation. Lamentation.
Lamentation, yeah.
Say it again.
Lamentation.
Lamentation?
I always say it more with the E sound. Lamentation almost.
Oh, right.
But it's lamentation.
Lamentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like saying it. It was done by Oni Press.
Oh.
It was written by Colin Bunn, baby.
Oh.
I did another.
Yeah.
I did another Bunn. Illustrated by Arjuna Susini, and then colored by Hillary Jenkins. You know what I found out looking up Colin Bunn? He did Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, the one we bought and loved. That was all him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it says written by Colin Bunn.
oh,
Deadpool
okay.
Kills the Marvel, like the first one where he kills the Watcher and Taskmaster.
That's the one we
is like-
have still.
Yeah,
right?
is it up there?
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, that one. That says Colin Bunn on it. So remember, we were like, we know that name.
Yeah.
We've heard the name
Right.
before. I did whatever Aftershock comic he did, Unholy Grail or Pestilence. I don't remember which one he did. I think it was Unholy Grail. Shit, he might have done both. But yeah, so it was put out by Oni Press, which I don't know if we've done one of theirs. We
Yeah.
have.
Oh, yeah.
I know I've come across them
Yeah.
multiple times. I'm pretty sure we have done it.
I almost did one this time.
Did you?
Yep.
We would have had two.
Yep.
So this came out in 2023, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a picture of it, but or I guess I didn't have a picture of it. But yeah, I know it's very recent, 2022, 23, something like that. So very new. So it starts off with this girl. She's walking down an alleyway. She's talking to her mom, and she's like, "It's not community theater, Mom. It's an actual gig." And you can't hear the mom, but she's obviously talking about money. And she's like, "I don't know how much it is. I'll figure that out later. Trust me, Mom. This is what I want to do."
Is she on the phone or?
Yeah, she's just talking
okay.
on the phone.
Gotcha.
She's just walking and chatting.
Oh, that's cool art.
So, yeah, the art's very cool. So she... You always do that. I always end up mentioning the art because you're the first one to be like, "Oh, this shit looks cool." So she rolls up on this Requiem theater, and she's like, "All right, Mom, I'm here. I'll talk to you later." So as she's walking by, there's a flyer for Razide's Lament.
Okay.
Razide. I got into it with my wife. I thought it was reside. Google Translate said reside, but Razide makes way more sense. I don't know. So I'm going to just go with Razide. So
Right.
Razide's Lament. She walks into them rehearsing, and they're like stabbing, and there's nothing there, but for one panel, you see blood on the knife. And she's like, "What are they stabbing? There's nothing there." She literally walks in and goes, "Who are they stabbing? Just empty space. Is that?" And then there's a little bit of blood on the knife. So everyone stops, and one girl's like, "Why'd y'all stop?" And new girl's here. So she introduces herself. "I'm Jennifer. Listen, I acted in high school. I did plays in college, and a little bit of Wisdom of Our Stars. And the director is named Marguerite, older woman. She's like, 'Oh, I know who you are. Like, don't even worry about it.' She's like, 'You want me to audition?' She's like, 'No, the part's yours.' Like, she's like, 'Does this always move this fast?' And she's like, 'Yeah, definitely. Especially this close to opening night. So, yeah, it moves fast.' A girl comes up, starts measuring her immediately
Wow.
for a new dress.
Holy shit.
And so really weird part, she's holding a flyer when she walks in. And it showed the flyer. It said, "Actress wanted, 20 to 25, go to the Requiem Theater at this time," right? So she's like in the midst of introducing herself to all the other actors, and the director is like, "Here, give me that." She takes the flyer and she throws it on the chair next to her. So she hands her the script and is like, "Go over this. This is the set designer.
God damn.
Here's the
It is moving fast.
Oh yeah." And she's like, "Here's the conductor and the orchestra." It's just a chick in a red shirt standing there. She doesn't say a word. Bunch of dudes in the dark holding instruments. So gives her the script. She goes and sits down to look at it, and she's like, "Where's my and looks down at the flyer that she walked in with. And for some reason, the flyer now reads full-time receptionist, office administrator, organized, dependable, excellent phone and communication skills. Apply at, and then it says Requiem Theater on it.
Okay.
Or no, it doesn't. Sorry.
No, I was going to say.
It says experience preferred. Please send resumes and references to, and then it doesn't show anything.
Okay.
So she's very strange. It has this shot when she sits down to read her script of her sitting in a chair and a bunch of like just entities,
Ghouls of some sort.
ghouls, ghosts behind her.
That's cool.
Kind of like crawling over the chairs towards her and like peeking out from behind them. Pretty creepy.
It is.
So Marguerite's like, all right, Jennifer, come on, let's go. You're playing the character of Jennifer. And she's like, that's convenient. She introduces herself, the character Owen. There's a lot of characters, but the only ones that you really need to know their name is Jennifer is the main character. Owen is the man that introduces himself to her. Marguerite's the director. And there's this other girl named Sarah.
Just another actress?
Another actress.
Cool.
So they starts talking about the lines. She's like reading them, and the girl Sarah's like, it's not that hard. She messes up a line, and Sarah's like, recites the whole line for her. She's like, it's not that hard. You should be able to get it. So they're going over their line. So I have to differentiate now because this is where all the shit starts. When I say rehearsal, okay, they're back at rehearsal. They are in street clothes. They are on the stage. You can see the lights. You can see the backgrounds, right? You can tell they are on the stage in street clothes, basically rehearsing.
Yeah.
So as they're going over their lines this very first time, it cuts to them
play.
in the play.
Yeah.
So they are in the story. So
like more than the play, like in the story.
they are in the story.
Gotcha.
So, and that's how it's depicting it to us. So now they're wearing old school clothes. They're walking up on a castle. It's raining and storming. They knock on the door. They let them in, and they're like, "Oh, it's so crazy! Y'all showed up today. There's supposed to be a wedding." And they're like, "Well, why are you telling us that?" And he's like, "Well, the storm messed up the wedding." And she's, "What are you talking about?" Cuts to rehearsal. She slips on a mess of blood, falls to the ground, and she points out like, that wasn't there when I came up. And Owen's like, "Oh, it's probably from the scene earlier. Remember and Sarah's like, the stabbing, remember?" Sarah's a big old bitch.
Yeah.
So this girl's already kind of weirded out. She's like, "I need some air. This is all moving fast. I know that blood wasn't there. There's something strange. Let me go get some air." Sarah's like, "Oh, some lead." She's a big old bitch, bro.
Oh, man.
So she's walking towards the front door, and she's like, "Wait, where's the door?" She's like, "Where are the doors?" Freaking out. "Where's the goddamn doors?"
Yeah.
And Marguerite walks up, and she goes, "Oh, that's just the way it is." So she pulls out her phone. It's no signal. She says, "It's just that you can't leave. None of us can. Not yet. Not until the play has been performed." So they're back into the story, and they're trying to understand. They're like, "Listen, you said the wedding's going on. There's a storm. What are you talking about?" It's like, "Listen, the girl that was supposed to get married, something tragic happened. So we need one of y'all to marry." And they were like, "What? No way."
Yeah.
Sarah's character, Constance. That's her character name, is Constance, right?
Okay.
Jennifer is Jennifer. Sarah is Constance.
Okay.
So Constance is like, "Oh, but I mean, that's not that crazy, guys. Like, would it be so awful? Like, could it possibly be good?" And they're like, she's like, "Don't be so hasty to turn this down." She's like, "You're crazy. Like, the storm messed up the wedding, and then they want one of us to replace the girl that something tragic happened to. Like, all these reasons are stupid. None of this
Super
makes
weird.
sense." So, but she's in the story, so you can assume she's reciting lines. She's like, "Let's just brave the storm." And when she looks out, it's like a miasma, like a weird green smoke just surrounding the castle.
Like, ectoplasm or
Yeah.
something.
So she's like, "This storm is not natural." Then it cuts back to rehearsal, and you can see she's like holding her hand up to her head, looking out the window. So it seems like they're getting lost between rehearsal and the story. So she even says it like, "We're more lost sisters than we believed." She's like, "Lost." And then Owen's like, "Hey, are you okay?" She's like, "It's just hard to remember that this is a set." And the set designer's like, "What? It's obvious? No, fuck that. I'm going to start over. Let's get this all down." And Marguerite's like, "No." The director, Marguerite's like, "No, don't. Just chill out."
She said the opposite, though.
What?
Right?
That it's so close to opening
Yeah,
night. She was
yeah.
like, we don't know. She's saying we don't have time to start over with the set. The set designer's like, oh, you can tell it's a set. Let's fix this. I want the blades to look different. I want the castle to look
Gotcha.
different. And Marguerite walks up to the set designer and she's like, dude, we're fine.
Yeah.
She's like, we don't have time for this. And he turns and says, all we have is time. Very, what is it?
Cryptic.
Cryptic. Yeah, there you go. So she's like, it looks fine. Don't worry about it. And Owen mentions this happens like every few days. Like every few days, the set designer just goes ape shit and starts redesigning everything and changing it. So Jennifer is like, what the fuck's going on here, Owen? Like, is it just some immersion acting technique that we can't leave until we get the perfect play? Can we really not leave? And he's like, listen, that's just how it is. That's how I've been here.
How it is.
I've been here 6 months. And then Penelope is like 4 months for me. And then some rando dude is like, I don't even remember. And another guy says, this is my 9th month.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's like, that's so long. You haven't seen your friends or family? Like, you've only seen each other? And then Owen goes, each other and Raside's Lament. That's all we got right now. He's like, how do you know that? Who are we even performing for? This theater looked abandoned on the outside.
Yeah.
And Sarah's like, well, you came through the door. She's like, so the audience is supposed to like the show and then we get to be set free? And they're like, yeah, basically. If the audience enjoys the show, you're set free. She's like, one of the guys goes, the show must go on. She's like, fuck that. What happened? Who had my part before? Who did this? What is good? Like, you could tell it's almost anxiety, like anxious writing, because you could tell she's like, what about my part? Who played my role before? Who am I replacing? Like, what the fuck is happening? And then Sarah goes, she found a way out. She's like, oh, so there is a way to escape. She's like, oh, sure. She killed herself.
Yeah.
She hung herself from the
figured.
rafters. She's like, some people just can't stand it. They're like, sorry about Sarah. She's bitter and jealous. You know, a bitch. And then they're like, she thinks she should be the lead role. Jennifer's like, fuck, she can have it. Like, I don't care.
Now that I know what's going on, let me out of here.
Take it. I don't care. And then Owen's like, hey, don't say that too loud. Don't show weakness. If Sarah smells blood in the water, she attacks. So Marguerite pops up. She's like, all right, fuckers, break's over. Get back to work. So they're rehearsing again. Now they're in the story. Old school clothes.
Yeah.
Prince Razide enters. So he's basically just yelling at the girls, talking about how this is his garden of pain and suffering.
Oh, goodness.
His to leach out the melancholy from life's blood, he needs a partner to share in his loneliness. Melancholy. I just like saying melancholy.
Okay.
So Prince Razide does look cool.
You threw me, bro, for real. I was
Melancholy?
Like, yeah. Hurt my brain.
I also say caramel, and that pisses people off,
You said
too.
something a minute ago, too.
Did
All
I?
Weird, yeah.
Oh, Penelope.
Penelope, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it, though, did I?
Penelope's melancholy about caramel.
Yeah.
Candy bars. So Prince Razide is yelling at the three sisters, and he's like, Sarah's like staring at him, or Constance, sorry, in the play, in the story.
Yeah.
Constance stared at him. She's like, are you looking at me? And then oh, you're looking at her. He points straight to Jennifer, and he's like, you. She's like, what do you mean, me? And he's like, you're the one. She's like, we're not going to get married, bro. Like, I'll not enter this torment. Like, no, fuck no. I'm not doing this.
Right.
This is ridiculous. And he goes, it's decided. And she's like crying. Like, this can't be. Like, I'm not going to marry the prince. I'm not going to be his princess. Sarah, Constance looks pissed, right? So now we're back at rehearsal. And that just means the real world.
Regular stuff.
Regular world, yeah. Street clothes, backstage stuff. So she's like, who is Prince Razide? Who's playing Prince Razide? They're like, we don't know. He just shows up, does his lines, and then like kind of flows off stage.
Juices out.
Yeah, and she's like, that's not, how do you not understand? How do we not know who the actor is? She like throws a sandwich. She's like, who made this fucking sandwich? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So
I'd be
she's still
saying the same
genuinely
shit.
upset and curious, like, who makes the sandwiches? Who designed all this crap around us? Where's Prince Razide? Why is he not here with us? Why
I'm
does he
glad
just
she's
show
bringing
up?
all this up, because in a lot of stories they wouldn't bring it up that way.
No, they go about it like
Just
it's
keep
normal
going, yeah.
and be like, hey, this is just for you, the reader, as opposed to, no, these characters are experiencing this with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're right. They would just, oh, we'll explain it later.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
she is constantly like, no, you know, why don't y'all care? y'all are pissing me off. I'm going for a walk. Bye. And Owen comes out and he's like, hey, listen, don't wander too far. People get lost. So please don't go too far. And she's like, whatever. She goes into a room. It's full of mannequins and masks and wigs and all types of show props. So she's looking around. She hears a clink, and this is how the issue 1 ends, but you see someone holding a knife, and you can see Jennifer reflection in the blade, right?
Okay.
So issue 2 starts, and it's Constance. Not Sarah. It's Constance.
In the real world now?
In the real world,
Okay.
in her clothes. So
Yeah.
it is Sarah, but she is dressed like Constance. When she left the backstage, she was dressed like Sarah.
Okay.
And now she's dressed like Constance.
Yeah.
Say okay, like you know what's going on.
Yeah, I got you.
No. Even by this point, I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I'm just saying I understood.
No,
that
I
she
get it. Yeah,
returned
what
into
I was saying,
Constance or
right?
whatever.
So she yells, Natalie, she found a way out. She left, and you replaced her like it was nothing. So she's pissed, right? She slices at her. This is important. She cuts her left hand. As Jennifer turns to run away, she knocks over a statue. A left hand like a left hand falls on the ground, and it's bleeding. They don't really focus on it too much. She's like, she's yelling, running away. And now she's in the story, and she says, I just want to go home. So she's running through. She's seeing vines on the walls of the castle, and she's like, everything here is alive. The vines wrap around her left hand and cut her. Okay. So now in the story world, her left hand is now bleeding as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of jumping back and forth here. She's like, Penelope says, there you are, sisters. Place is unfamiliar. You shouldn't wander off alone. The garden's this way. Come with me. Constance is making tea. So even in the story world, Jennifer's like, this prince is trying to marry one of us. There's an unnatural storm outside. We're supposed to be drinking tea like society crones. What the hell? So the Constance is, talking about like, hey, we're trapped here. We're trapped by the storm, but I'll not be imprisoned Jennifer's saying that. Constance is making tea. You can see her pour poison straight up in the glass. And she's like, you should be happy. He's a prince. Like, a prince wishes to marry you. She's like, I don't know him.
Yeah.
He could be a thief. He could be a liar. I don't know him from a prince to a pauper. Like, I've not even seen the dude's face. So in this panel, you see Constance handing Jennifer the poison tea. Mm-hmm. In the very next panel, Constance is about to take a sip, and you can see the green smoke coming out of her tea. Funny. So now it cuts back to a room in rehearsal, backstage. Jennifer in street clothes, left hand's bleeding. She comes into a room full of masks, right? Mask everywhere, strings and mask everywhere. And Constance attacks her, and she's screaming, I am fate, sister. I've come for you. So in the middle of her attacking, she's about to stab her. She gets lifted off the ground, and you could see Prince Razide basically holding her collar.
Okay.
Cuts back to the story world, and Constance is drinking the poison tea. Okay. It cuts back and forth real quick.
Yeah.
Especially here, very quick. Penelope's like, I'm sure the prince is reasonable, and she's like, nothing about this is reasonable. So basically at the same time, Constance is drinking poison tea and dying, and in the real world, Sarah is getting choked out by Razide and dying. So it basically culminates with both of them dying now. Okay. And Jennifer's freaking out. Won't someone help us? She's in the story talking about she's dead. Our sister's life extinguished, blah, blah, blah. And now it's in the story rehearsal. She sees Prince Razide turn into smoke and basically float away. Sarah's on the ground dead. So she runs and gets all her people, all the actors. Mm-hmm. And she's like, she's in here. They go in there. They can't find her. She's not there anymore. She's like, there's no way she ran away. She was dead. Again, she starts yelling. Marguerite's like, let's just go back to rehearsal. She's like, God damn it. No. All we do is rehearse. That's all we've done this whole time. I don't get y'all. So they're back at it in the story world. Razide is coming down the stairs, and Jennifer sees him, and she starts yelling at him. And she's like, you need to answer for this murder. Like, I'll see your face. And she goes to rip off his mask, and it's a statue. And she literally says, not a man, not alive, just a statue. And then she faints and falls off the stairs. We're back at rehearsal, and she says, not a man, not alive, just a statue. And Marguerite's like, Jennifer, don't do that. Don't ad-lib. Like, the script is perfect. Just stick to it. So Sarah's dead, right?
Constance,
Sarah, they're both dead, technically. So this new girl walks in, and she's like, I'm Kylie. I was just responding to the ad I saw in the paper. And Jennifer's like, nah, how could an ad go out that quick? How are you already here?
Yeah.
Marguerite's walking up. She's like, hey, welcome. I'm the director of Razide's Lament. And then Jennifer's like,
I forgot that's what the play was called, too.
Yeah,
the character's named that, but also that's the name of the play.
Yeah, Razide's Lament,
Okay.
yeah.
And
So
I understand now.
Jennifer's like, she just arrived. So she's like, snaps out of it, and she goes, the door. She starts running towards the door because it was open, and it's slowly closing. So she grabs it and able to stop it from fully closing, opens it, and outside is just a bunch of ghosts that kind of
The
like...
ones that were there before.
No, different ghosts.
They look happier.
Yeah,
Or
they-
less terrifying.
They all have goofy, like... Oh, remember that drunk sequence from Dumbo?
Yeah, they look kind of
That's
like that.
those facial expressions they
Yeah.
made. That's what these ghosts remind me of, and they look like water.
Yeah,
they look
do.
like water
They
ghosts.
do.
But yeah, ghosts.
Bubbles, maybe.
So back into the story. Oh, Jennifer, I can't believe this. I can't believe our beloved sister is gone. She's like, listen, we got to get out of here. We're gonna die here. At that moment, Constance pops up, and she's like, this is not a natural storm, and all of it is conjured through the darkest sorcery. Prince Razide is evil. He's a dangerous creature. And the woman that was meant to be wed, she took her own life rather than marry him.
Okay.
And she said she killed herself after she looked into Razide's eyes. Cuts to rehearsal, back on stage. Kylie, the new girl, is hanging from strings playing Constance Ghost. So
Okay.
that's how it's happening all
I
at the
got
same
you.
time,
Okay.
right? Marguerite
Still
is like,
weird,
that's a
but
good, yeah,
got it.
super weird, bro. Super weird. So good job, everyone. Go take lunch. Kylie's like, hey, can you cut me down? Kylie's immediately like, hey, this is kind of weird, right? There's like some weird shit happening. You notice that? And Jennifer's like, no, I see it. Make sure you see it. She gives her, like, she's like, this theater can lull you into complacency. So it makes it dangerous. Like, don't let it win you over. We forget to complain. Like, we forget to question this. We're all just complacent in all this. So Owen pops up and he's like, hey, talk to you privately? He was like, yeah, I agree. Like, I forget to doubt
Was he the
this.
scenery guy or whatever?
No, this is one of the other actors.
Oh, okay.
His name in the comic is like Uther or something like that.
Okay.
But I'm just going to call him Owen.
Yeah.
There's a part later where it comes up, but Owen. So he's like, listen, I think we should go back into those back rooms you were in. I have a hunch now. I think some of these people that got lost, quotation marks, they're not lost. They found a way out. I believe you. You're right. We get lulled into this like complacency of this place.
Yeah.
We rehearse. We do our lines. Everything is just normal. We forget to question it. So, and we forget to question us questioning it. Like, this is jacked up. So
Yeah.
I believe you. Let's go find these people. There's no way they're lost forever. So they're wandering through. They're talking about, what's real. They start walking through doors and they're going through sets. So they're in a fantasy world with fairies flying around.
Oh, cool.
Next scene, they're in like a circus with a bunch
It's like
of clowns.
real, right? Because they're in the story.
No, this is still rehearsal.
All sets?
Yep, sets.
Okay.
So the clowns are hanging from strings,
Okay.
playing instruments. There's a boat. All the birds are on strings. So they're walking through. They go to like a cold city. Again, sets.
Uh-huh.
And they see a big dragon that's dead and like riddled with arrows. So they're
Oh,
like,
shit.
what
That's
are
cool.
all these sets for? They're like, what were all these plays? They go into a graveyard and they're like, make sure everyone's dead. And when he says dead, it cuts to a big room full of those water-looking ghosts again. So he's like, oh, I fucked up. They didn't escape. They're still here. That's them. Let's get the fuck out. So he grabs her head and just bolts. They run back through the
Nice.
graveyard, the dinosaur, the ship. They run through everything. So as they're running, someone grabs Jennifer's hand, and it's Constance as a ghost. And she's like, what is that? And he's like, it's them. It's everyone. He's like, they look like ghosts, the ghosts of the people that were here. So like, I know what's going on now. So they run away. Razide is sitting there peeking at him behind a box. Cuts back to the story world. They're talking about how bad the storm is right now. And she's like, can we go into the basement for sanctuary? And there's no sanctuary anywhere. The storm is not natural and it's getting worse. Green lightning strikes. In the story, the wall explodes. Jennifer in the story is like, we need to get out of here. So even in the story world, she's like, let's get the fuck out.
I like this character.
She's awesome, bro. She is so awesome.
Really cool.
So she's running towards the wall, and then it cuts to rehearsal. Another lightning strike, and then it cuts to rehearsal, and one of the set walls is about to fall on her. She jumps out of the way, and she's like, I'm okay. Like, the set just seems like it just wants to hurt you. And she's like, this is ridiculous. She goes to help pick up the wall, and she cuts herself with a nail on her left hand again.
Oh, okay.
So she's bleeding, and Marguerite's like, we need to reset. And she's like, reset, collect my, like, you can't be serious. Again, what the fuck is wrong with all you people? She's like, how can you just accept what's happening here? Something is wrong with this theater, with this play, but all you just go with it.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, Jennifer. She's like, no, fuck you. She's like, you're all sick or something. You're sharing the same bullshit delusion.
Yeah.
So cuts herself. She's bleeding. They like, hey, we'll clean up the blood. Just go chill. Wrap your hand up. We'll get this taken care of. At that moment, the chandelier comes on, and Marguerite's like, it's time. They're like, what do you mean it's time? This is it? She's like, this is it. The conductor, who has just been standing here the whole time with her demon fucking ghost orchestra, finally is like, just like we practice. And then they start jamming, right? And then Marguerite's like, it places everyone. Jennifer and everyone's in their street clothes on stage looking out into the audience, and it's just ghost. The whole theater is just full of ghosts.
Ones or
the little blue
ones?
weird ones.
Okay.
Oh, the scary blue ones. I think the guys that were originally in the seats, like creeping up on Jennifer, they're all just full top to bottom, balconies. They're everywhere.
Nice.
So Jennifer's like, this is it, isn't it? And even Kylie is like, they're not even people. What are we supposed to do? Show is starting, places everyone from the top. So now the third issue starts with the beginning of the actual play.
Oh, cool.
Where they're walking in the rain. They find the castle. They knock on the door. But the dialogue starts changing. And Jennifer, without missing a beat, is saying all these new lines.
Oh, okay.
She's on stage. She's crying. She really is just probably just destroyed emotionally and mentally at this point. But she's hitting all these new lines, so much to the point that the actors are like, do you remember any of this from the script? Like rehearsal, like any of this? Mm-hmm. So it cuts to some time later in the play, which they do not ever tell you when there's a slight time jump. Mm-mm. And I can tell because her hand was bleeding and now it's wrapped. So it's very subtle clues.
They want you to pay attention.
Oh, yeah, very much so. So in this part of the play, in the story, Owen is getting ripped apart by Ghost, right? And he's like, the dead rise to tear my flesh, cast them back. He's saying his lines, which, again, are new. And she says, Julian, that's his name, Julian. No, Julian, no. And then she calls him Owen. She goes, Julian, Owen. She's like, fuck it. If they can hurt us, maybe we can hurt them. She picks up a knife, starts trying to chop up these ghosts. Go hard, woman. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's like, hold on, I'll drive him back. A ghost reaches out, bites her left arm. It starts bleeding. And Owen is now like, Prince Razide's jealousy has damned us. We can't fight against the inevitability. So I, at this point, can't even tell if he's saying lines which sound like lines, or if he's like just saying this shit.
Right.
It's very hard to tell. It seems very mixed now. So she's like, Julian, Owen, no. He gets torn apart. When it shows the rehearsal element, it's a bunch of sheets with blood on them just floating around him on stage, and he's dead on the floor. And Jennifer runs back. She's like, Marguerite, we can't do this. Like, draw the curtains. Like, none of this is in the script. And she's like, it's all right. Don't worry. It's being rewritten. She's like, by who? Like, who is rewriting it? She's like, come along. No time to dawdle. We got to get you dressed for the next scene. This is the big scene. This is the wedding. This is what that girl who showed up at the first issue has been working on your dress the whole time. She's like, I made your dress. It's perfect. It's going to fit you great. She puts it on. So she's in the dressing room looking at herself. Rehearsal world.
Okay.
She's backstage. And Prince Razide pops up in the mirror, and she's like, who are you? You can't be here. Not before. Oh, wait, it's not real. Not before the ceremony. She backs into the marquee mirror, the marquee lights, the one around the mirror. Yep.
Yeah.
She backs into it and the glass starts breaking. When she looks on the ground and sees the broken glass, we cut to the story. In the story, there's broken glass on the ground, and she's like, "You startled me. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't see me before the ceremony. Like, you shouldn't see me like this." And he's like, "You fear me? I am not but a creature of fear. I know that you don't wish to be here, and I know you don't wish to become my bride. But listen, for all my power and all your free will, we can't change it." And she's just like we're just slaves to fortune, sacrifice. Like, and he says, "You have been chosen from so many before you, for my destiny, my lamentation." I really hate that word.
Yeah.
So he pulls off his mask this time, and she looks in his eyeball, and it starts swirling with green lightning, green smoke, and it basically just shoots out of his face hole, like his hood. Oh, he's sorry. Fuck. He's masked and hooded up the whole comic.
Yeah, you said the mask part.
Okay, but yeah, he's got a hood on, so you can't see anything telltale about who he is, what color he is, if he's even a person, anything like that.
Gotcha.
So as he does this, she looks into his eyes. The green smoke and lightning basically just erupt from his face, from his hood. It lifts everything and everyone into the air. Dude, the orchestra still like trying to play while they're getting flown around the
The
room.
orchestra looks like regular people. I didn't really catch that.
No, they did, but they were very like shrouded in darkness, so you couldn't exactly tell.
Yeah.
But they didn't look like normal people.
Okay, nobody was talking.
Yeah, no one said. Even Francine just stood there like with her with
Okay.
her conductor wand, just waiting for the show to start, basically. So Jennifer gets flipped around in the air. She in rehearsal, she stabs Razide, right? So Razide starts wandering out to the stage, and because they were backstage, right? And Marguerite's excited, and she's like, the soliloquy. He goes off on this whole thing about this is his destiny to fix his loneliness. Someone has to suffer with him, but because here is the offering, I shall die for your entertainment, and yet I shall live too. For death cannot take me, not without birth anew. So he pulls the knife out. All the ghosts, scary ghosts, are like clapping. They're like, "Yeah, that's really
clap.
good." They're clapping their ass off. They're loving it. So it gets more and more like rowdy and loud. So more green smoke starts popping out of his hood, right? The doors shoot open, and Jennifer's like, "The doors!" She's about to start running towards the door, and she goes, "No, wait. Now's our chance." And then she goes, "No." And she stops herself. And as she does this, green lightning strikes the middle of the theater floor, and everything's in the air. All the seats, all the people, everyone's in the air. All the actors, the costume director, the set designer, Marguerite, they're all in the air, and they're all floating around in a circle around this shit. So, I mean, everything.
Oh, it's like, yeah, that's...
It looks like a storm
Vortex
inside.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So she sees all the actors there reaching for her, and Marguerite's like yelling something, and she's like, "I can't hear you." And she sees Owen again. So she's like, "Oh shit, Owen." She reaches for him and tries to help him. She pulls on his hand, and then it pops off. And she looks at it, and it's a mannequin hand. And then, this is really clever, when she looks back at all the actors floating around, they're all mannequins.
Okay.
So you
On
can tell
strings?
they're because they're floating in the vortex
okay.
thing. So you could see their hands are one piece with thumbs sticking out.
Yeah.
You could tell that they are not real people, and just the way they're looking. See right there?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
like
you could-
blanked face.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you see his hand right there too.
Oh, yeah.
So they're
Huh.
all mannequins. Since everything's floating in a circle, a knife comes by and slices her face. More lightning strikes, so all the smoke and all the lightning suddenly start to converge. And now Razide pops up, and he goes, "Behold, I am born anew." And he's got a gold mask on, a purple hood, red outfit. It looks completely different because
Yeah.
before it was all green and dark green and black.
Okay.
So he's in a completely different outfit, new mask, everything. And she goes, "Razide, what is this? What does it all mean? Am I free to go?" And he goes, "My story's been rewritten." And there's a script on the floor that says Razide's Delight. She picks it up. Razide just fucks off and walks off the stage. she's looking at the open doors and this just destroyed theater. She takes a run for the door. Like as she's running, it starts to close. There's this like last sliver of light shining on her face. She doesn't make it. The door closed. She starts screaming, "Can you hear me? How long have these doors been locked? Help me, please help." So then it shows Razide's Lament, the flyer. It blows off and you see Razide's Delight. Whole new play now.
Yeah.
And what it shows at this last little few panels is this girl. She's like, "No, Mom, it's not a community theater. No, it's a good job. It's a very professional production." Same thing. She's holding a flyer that says actors and actresses wanted. Apply here. So she sees the theater and she's like, "Trust me, Mom, both my feet are planted firm on the ground." She sees Razide's Delight and she walks in and someone, doesn't show who, but someone says, "Oh, there you are. Come in, come in. Rehearsal's about to begin." The end.
Ugh. And they didn't explain anything.
Nothing.
Right?
Not a thing. What I think is either Prince Razide's death
Okay.
or he's just stuck in this loop where his story is changing. At one point, they were on a ship. At one point, it was fantasy. At one point, there was a giant dragon that needed to be
All
killed.
the other sets and
all
stuff.
the other sets, all the other people. So I don't know if the people were real. I don't know if they were all mannequins and Jennifer was the only real one. I can't tell. Also, Jennifer might now be the director.
Yeah, so you didn't say that, but
No.
that's kind of what I thought.
She was the only one left alive.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
else
what I
is
thought.
dead or a
Okay.
mannequin, which means when that girl walked in, she's like, "Oh, rehearsal's about to begin."
That was my only insight, by the way, of the entire story. You just
Yeah,
to me it felt like, oh, she's now the director.
She's now the director.
the
That's
only
what I
part-
assume. It
That's
has
the
to
only
be.
part that I could pull from that.
Yeah, and will the flyer saying actors and actresses, maybe they need to replace all the people that died because of Razide's play this
Right.
time around.
Yeah.
Because Owen and all those other guys might have been real. Because they were like,
talked about how long they'd been there
exactly.
and all that.
And
Yeah.
the people that were there before, maybe they died in other plays.
Right.
And then they just keep bringing in, every time someone dies, they bring in a new actor or actress.
Yeah.
And then this one, everyone dies, and now she's the director, just forced to make a
Continue
play
this.
until she dies or what?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, I can't tell if Razide is stuck himself.
Or he's in control.
Or he's in
Maybe
control.
he's just another person that end up getting that role eventually.
Ooh, he just, he landed the Razide role.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I have no idea.
Yeah, like I said, my only thing that I was like, oh, cool.
She's
I
the
think
director.
Yeah, she's the director.
So I think
That's
Razide
it.
was running it all, man. I think it was just
Seems like it.
it's
and he changed his appearance changed drastically from
when the
one.
story ended.
And then he was doing all the smoking shit out
Yep.
of his face, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he obviously was super important one way or the other.
But he also said, "For all my power and all your free will, we don't have a choice. Like we have to do this." Which it didn't end with the wedding. It didn't end with him being. Oh, I guess it did end him with not being lonely because Jennifer is there now. And if
It's
they were
the
all
delight.
mannequins, she's the one real person there.
Right.
But I don't think that's the case. I think,
I think
those
the
were
other
real
people. I think they were supposed to be
because
yeah.
Kylie showed up immediately when Sarah died. The new girl shows up as soon as everyone else dies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a wild book. Hey, listeners, if get us famous so we can hit up Colin Bunn and ask him what the fuck I just read.
I would love to be able to ask a comic book writers a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
about
dude.
Confusing
hey,
shit.
just sit here. I'm gonna read through it real quick, and at each part I need to ask you about.
Fill me in on
yeah.
this.
Just hang over my shoulder and just explain things to me as I scroll through. I did enjoy it though. I love it when shit's weird and
The art was
art was very
really
cool. Our segment, How Were the Faces?
How Were
Faces
the
were
Faces?
great. They were totally fine.
They were
No
good.
problem with them at all. I
They
did
look kinda
enjoy the
long,
art.
right?
They were long.
Yeah.
They were long. A lot of long, skinny folks
That
in
was
there.
their kind of art style.
I think so. It was purposeful.
It looked cool.
Yeah, it was fine. I had no complaints about
It
it
makes
at
people
all.
seem a little like creepier.
I did like the art though, as opposed to just the faces.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
really
yeah.
enjoyed the art. I thought it looked great.
It was cool.
The story was cool, man. I like that weird shit where you don't quite know what's going on.
Yeah, I would have a little bit more info by the end, but
I mean, maybe if you read it, it would make more sense because the jumping back and forth was
Maybe.
weird. So like she mentions a few times like I can't tell if this is real or we're rehearsing. Basically, are we rehearsing or is this story?
Yeah,
Because
they
as
showed
soon
her
as
like looking through the window,
Exactly.
and then there's no window.
so as soon as they like lose themselves, they're transported. Now they're in the play. They're in the story. And then once they snap out of it, they trip. She cuts herself. She slipped on blood. She's back into the rehearsal world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what exactly was going on, but it was just weird enough that I was like, cool.
It's cool.
I liked it. And it was definitely a horror story. I don't know if it came off that way,
Yeah.
the way I described it, but it was a horror story. On the front, it says 48 pages of fear for each issue. And I got a weird one like you. It was supposed to be 6. And I saw Cullen Bunn talking about it, and he was like, yeah, it was supposed to be 6. And they were like, yeah, we're going to do it like this. We're going to do 2 and 1.
Oh.
So you only got 3. So instead of 6, you got 3. But like I said, there's a lot of ads and the beginning stuff, the credits, and then the ending stuff. So I don't think it was a full 48 pages of story, though it could have been. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It was a quick read, though. And Jennifer was an awesome character.
Yeah,
like, I thoroughly enjoyed
she
her.
was really good.
Only thing disappointed was how cool she was that she didn't win or figure out what the hell's going on or
Yeah.
stop it in any
That would have
way.
been cooler.
She's
but-
just a part of it now. So maybe she's going to put on the Razide's Delight play. I don't know. But she was a dope character.
Yeah, I
Thoroughly
liked
enjoyed her.
She made real ass human decisions.
Yeah, I love how she's constantly mad, just screaming at everyone.
Hey,
like,
this is fucking weird.
because that's how we would act. Like, that's how, and even as a reader, I'm looking at it going, what the fuck is going on? What's
Yeah.
happening? What does this
Yeah.
mean? And she's right there with me like, are you serious? What does this mean? Like, and I really appreciated
That's cool
that. So
because, like we said at the beginning, a lot of times stories don't do that.
I'm just going to go with the flow
yeah,
and
people
explain
just
it later.
just leave it.
Later. I said later. You about ready?
It's on.
Do this. All right, this is our segment, Matt versus Adam. We take a random character generator and we see who would win in a fight between the people or whatever we get.
Yeah.
We got DC today.
Yes,
We're
sir.
doing DC. You want to go first? No, I'm already going first.
You go for me anyway, so you just pick.
Fuck. I got Red Hood.
Oh, fuck yeah.
God damn it.
What did I get? Some god.
Yeah, you got Raven.
Oh, close enough.
Have we already got Raven before?
I think we did at
we
some
have.
point.
Should I
I think
do-
I re-roll. I don't give a fuck.
All right.
Re-roll that bitch. See if I care.
Fuck, you got someone even stronger. You got Dr. Fate.
Yes.
That's it. It's over. Like, that's it. It's over.
That's
I'm
the
not-
longest
I'm not
fight
fucking-
we've ever had.
I can't do nothing, bro.
Bro, you're a dude.
You know I'm coming.
Electric nightsticks.
You know I'm there. I'm not even fucking. I got guns. I got guns.
You got guns. But
But
in the
I'm
comic
not-
I read, he didn't. He just had electric
it's
nightsticks.
little taser
Yeah.
things. Yeah. What the fuck?
Kind
bro?
of like Nightwing.
I'm getting
sticks.
smoked immediately.
That's
I'll
funny.
just do this. The arena is downtown Houston, 2 blocks, but it doesn't fucking matter because he got goddamn.
We could be on Mars. We could be anywhere, and I
matter.
would just dominate.
Dude, the second I think I'm gonna go kill that guy. Oh, that's Dr. Fate. I gotta kill him.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's
I
over.
forgot Dr. Fate's a dick. I better poop, and you're out of
Yep.
existence.
Yeah, I just for fun, I want to see
His
what,
list.
yeah, what his shit looks like
Yeah.
here. Like, cause it's gotta be crazy.
It is.
And I know mine is like, oh, weapons.
yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Extremely good at fighting.
Oh, this is the movie guy. But still,
Movie version.
yeah, genius level intellect, wisdom, fighting skills, magic, superhuman strength, duplication, resurrection,
Yeah.
energy
Resurrection.
manipulation, basically all tools to just kick my fucking ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, that's god damn it. All right.
That's it.
I
See y'all
didn't-
later.
You have a chance,
Bro,
bro.
holy
I
shit.
did not have a chance.
I
so-
mean, if I was in a coma, no, because I can astral project.
you
Never
could,
mind.
dude. Yeah, just replicate yourself.
Yeah.
The other guy's
the,
not
the,
in a
the
coma.
replication is really strong with him.
Yeah.
He uses that really well.
Yeah, and it's not the guy I'm fighting either. It's Nabu or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like an ancient fucking being.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's a deity, but it doesn't matter. He is
I mean, he functions as one.
he's
So.
streets ahead of me.
Don't try to get that going. Nobody's gonna use that.
No one's saying streets ahead. All right, well, that was embarrassing.
Dude.
1917. That's just, I don't think we've had an ass kicking that bad ever.
Ah, no.
Like
There's always,
one that's just like, all right, that's it. Oh, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
But I had to convince you. Like, no,
Yeah.
I've heard she's really. But that was just no one's gonna question.
There's no
that.
argument. There.
No one is.
There's no argument.
I've died before.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help me.
With the resin or whatever.
Doesn't help me at all.
Lazarus resin.
Doesn't give me magical protection or anything,
No,
dude. You're
you
smoking
can die
me.
again.
Exactly.
You just die again.
Yeah, you're smoking me. So yeah, 1917, whatever.
That was a good fight.
No, it wasn't. It was so bad.
GG.
Fuck you. All right. We are on Instagram, Flipping Pages 24, Facebook, Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. New episodes released every Monday on all platforms and YouTube. If we do it.
If I feel like it.
If I feel like it. We just, if you want it.
Missed one or two.
Yeah,
We're
we
doing
might.
good.
It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, if you've been listening, we appreciate it very much. Best way to support the show is go rate, review, like, subscribe, hit all those buttons.
All the internet stuff.
Yeah, and I'll take this time now to say, all right, guys, we're gonna come out with this is the Flipping Pages. Matt and Adam, we got a new show coming out called Flipping Wigs. It's where we take sharp metal objects and we go find really nice cars in Houston and we just scratch them up to show how stupid it is to spend all your money on that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going somewhere.
No. It's just a dumb joke. All right. Yeah, that's the episode. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.